marvelous day here in Southern Ontario. This is the Sportsline Podcast. We always appreciate you watching or listening on the CHCH and Parrot Media platform. I'm Bubba O'Neill. Hey, I say this on a daily basis. This is a podcast. It's a space for the many outstanding past, present, or future athletes, coaches, executives, and broadcasters that got their start right here in the Golden Horseshoe. Now, in the ever-popular and rapidly growing women's hockey world, this could be one of the best homegrown talents we've ever seen. Out of Cardinal Newman High School, this player honed her skills with the Stoney Creek Sabres. At Mercyhurst University, Vanessa Upson dominated. How about earning Atlantic Hockey America all-conference honors in the Four Seasons with the Lakers? Now this Stoney Creek native has been drafted by the two-time PWHL champion Minnesota Frost, where I believe she'll be doing a whole lot of this.
Here comes Upson down the left wing. Look at the toe drag. She scores! Upson cashes the check in overtime. It's a party off Parade Street.
Here on the Sportsline Red Couch. Thanks for joining us. And I'm led to believe that goal went viral.
Yeah, I think that one actually went top 10 on SportsCenter. It was definitely a pretty cool moment.
Not the TSN Sports Center. The ESPN Sports Center. That's big time.
Yeah, it was definitely a pretty cool moment. That actually was my first regular season game in college, and then it was an overtime goal, so it was pretty cool, yeah.
And you had the guts to pull off that move?
Yeah.
How is, I got to kind of meander all over the place here with you, and I'm so glad you're here to join us, because I think really you've set the table for so many athletes in our area and for so many young women, a great example. But let's kind of think that you've just been drafted less than a month ago, right? Your name was called. You had your moment. How's your life changed?
Yeah. Honestly, after the draft, it was pretty cool. Even just on social media, like Instagram, you gain so many followers, so many new people are reaching out, especially the Frost fans. A lot of people is reaching out and, their support, which is pretty cool. And then obviously some of the girls on the Minnesota Frost team have reached out, and a lot of those girls are Olympians and stuff. So it's honestly pretty special that they're, reaching out and contacting me, yeah.
That's got to be a wonderful feeling for you. Now, did you know you were going to be drafted by them? Did they kind of contacted you? Was there any, your feeling on draft night would look pretty genuine.
Oh, yeah. So we had a little bit of an idea, but not really. I honestly didn't know I was going to get drafted. Minnesota, they did have a talk with my agent about potentially maybe round 5 or round 6. But again, you never really know. So that reaction that you guys kind of saw there, it really was genuine. And it was, definitely a special moment.
That room was packed. It was full. And, of course, a lot of your brethren, some that you're going to be playing against, some that you've played with in some cases. And you're walking up the stairs, as you are right there, going to hold that hockey stick and know that you're going to represent the Frost. Can you describe that feeling for us?
Yeah, in the moment, I blacked out. I just blacked out in the moment. And so actually one of my best friends, she got drafted earlier in the draft to Minnesota. So my first thought was, oh my God, I'm going to play with my best friend again. So for me, it was just a surreal moment. And it was just there's really no words for it.
Let's go all the way back here. First of all, I'll ask you this. When you were growing up, and I'm talking small, I'm talking before double digits, what was a young Vanessa Upson like?
Yeah, so at a young age, I started playing boys hockey. I was young, probably 6, 7, 8, at a young age, yeah. Yeah, so younger than that, my mom's saying. I think I was just, always the player with the puck on my stick. I always kind of found the back of the net, making great plays. And it's honestly something I kind of still have in my game to this day.
When you were playing at that age, what was it about hockey? There were so many other things that you could be doing at that age, and maybe so many other things your friends were doing. I don't know. It could be, and I'm going to go this way, gymnastics. Could be basketball. Could be golf. Could be so many different things. Why hockey?
At a young age, my brother played hockey. He's 4 years older than me, so at a young age, I was just constantly around the arena, just running around. I always wanted to watch hockey. I loved it at such a young age, and it's obviously something that I love to do and kept doing.
Did you have a hero or someone that you looked up to that you kind of maybe modeled your game even at that young age?
Honestly, at a young age, I don't really think I did. I love watching my brother play, and then I would at a young age I would sit on the couch and just watch the NHL games too. Like it was just something that I got, like I understood too at a young age, and I think it really helped me.
So you're playing boys hockey. Where does the separation happen, or how did it come to be that you're going to end up with the Stoney Creek Sabres?
Yeah, I think it was, I believe in minor bantam was my last year I played boys hockey. So I actually played a year of hitting with the guys, and then
Was that intimidating?
No, not really, because they kind of just introduced hitting, so there wasn't too much hitting, I wouldn't say, in boys hockey. But I'm definitely happy I experienced it, because now in the PWHL there's hitting, so it's definitely something that I think will translate. But then in major bantam is when I went to the Stoney Creek Sabres, and then I was there for 4 years before college.
You talk about playing with the Stoney Creek Sabres, and I'm scouting for video, and boy, you talk about what you said about playing with the guys, and you had a feel for goal scoring and putting the puck in the net. That continued with the Sabres, did it not?
Yeah, definitely. We did have great coaches for the Sabres too, and like as a program, like as a whole, they were always a really good program. So just kind of getting in there was super cool. Yeah.
So now, you've been playing with the guys. Now you're playing with girls. What was that transition back to playing with a full team of women, or girls, I'll say, and then playing girls? What was that like?
Yeah, I think just like obviously playing guys hockey, I had to dress in my own room. So you don't really get that culture, that like vibe in the locker room, right? And obviously the girls, you're in there with the girls all the time, hanging out with them, even outside the rink. Like you just create those friendships that I never really created on the men's side of things. So that was definitely cool. Yeah. And
of course, the Stoney Creek Sabres, just synonymous with success, and that must have been an enjoyable thing. Some teams playing for SO Cups. I mean, that's been how good this program has been.
Yeah, we actually won bronze SO Cup when I played there. So again, that whole thing was super cool too, playing other provinces and other teams that you don't play during the year. So that was a pretty cool moment for me in Stoney Creek.
Like that's like NHL at that point of your life, is it not? It's like the big leagues.
Yeah, definitely there. Like a lot of scouts are there too, scouting you, for college. So you're definitely on the big stage there. Yeah.
All right, so you're playing with Stoney Creek, and I've always thought this is the hard, or at least the interesting part to me, is that when you're playing high-level hockey and maybe having aspirations of going to another level, but you're also trying to balance, I don't know, boyfriends, girlfriends, parties, dances, going to the movies. Was that easy for you, or was it, hockey only?
Yeah, definitely was pretty tough. Like, as you said, like there's certain times where, let's say there is some people getting together, and it's like, oh, well, I got hockey tomorrow. Like right? There was kind of that stuff where I kind of, for myself, I had to say no. And it was at that young age, it was pretty hard. But again, you kind of know your dream and you kind of know the goal. So you're okay with it.
Did you know at that point that you were going to play at the next level, whether that be Canadian university or maybe even the NCAA?
Yeah, when I played for the Sabres, I committed pretty early. So I committed in the summer going into grade 10.
Wow.
So, yeah. So that means I still had, obviously, 3 years left with the Sabres. I did know that, that was my goal, definitely, to go to the States and play over there for 4 years.
So you got to take me back here. At that age, when you had committed, that means that Mercyhurst had contacted you, had been watching you. Can you describe that process?
Yeah, I was young. Like, I went into college at 17. So I committed probably at 14 years old. Like, again, you don't really, even with my whole like career and like, the whole school side of things, like I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, it's like you mainly, I committed there for like the hockey, and then I kind of figured out eventually what I wanted to do with the whole school and courses side of things.
Here in Southern Ontario, we live pretty interesting and pretty comfy, cozy lives here in Hamilton and Burlington and Oakville and St. Catharines. And you've been playing hockey. You're at home, Stoney Creek. As you said, your friends are right there. What was the transition like to now going to Erie, Pennsylvania, which is close enough, but still pretty far that you can't be coming home every weekend? Yeah. What was that like?
Yeah, like for me, I really enjoyed it. Like my first year, I really had fun. Like I made
A lot of parties.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
No, I made like best friends like to this day. So for me, honestly, I was lucky with that transition. Like very, very lucky. Obviously, like the biggest transition is you don't get to see your family as much, and and then obviously like my friends at home, like you're not seeing them as much. But definitely like my friends at school, and even like just the whole like hockey and culture at Mercyhurst, like it really made my transition so easy.
And that's something I always like to discuss. And I remember talking to Tamika Nurse about this, about the transition of playing at a high level university for sports in the United States compared to Canada, and maybe some of your other friends went on to play at Canadian universities. That this is in the words of Tamika Nurse, there's nothing like playing high level D1 sports in the United States.
Yeah, I think even overall, like in general, like like even football. Let's talk about like like it's crazy like how big it is there, and just the support and the fans that they get in the States. It's honestly like something that I've never seen. Like we don't really have that stuff here, so it was pretty cool to kind of see like the school spirit down there, the D1 teams and games and stuff like that.
So when you're playing with players that are with Mercyhurst, that are American players, was that a transition for you? Like seeing how serious all of a sudden this has become?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, like just even with other sports, like they're so passionate, and it's like I feel like for us, like our main sports obviously are hockey and lacrosse, right? There they have a lot of like they have other sports that they're so passionate about, and it's something I wasn't used to here in Stoney Creek. But it was definitely cool to like see that and see how passionate they are about their sports.
Certainly didn't take you very long, Rookie of the Year. You settled right in, and it seemed like the skills that you had with Stoney Creek, they seem to move over very easily at that next level, around the net, shooting, scoring, setting up, very offensive-minded. And then I'm sure through that process, your game also expanded, blocking shots, defensively, that kind of stuff. But I mean, when I look at your career, if we put up the stats board, I'm amazed at throughout your 4-year career, you're a point a game player. Like that's hard to achieve, and it's just so balanced in terms of the goal scoring and the assist making and your game-winning goals. You're connecting on the power play, but yet you're in the penalty box for only 32 minutes in your entire career. Can you just talk about your game and refining your game at this level and putting up solid numbers?
Yeah, I think definitely I like to be consistent, like throughout the whole season, and I definitely think just in general, like, shooting, that's one of my biggest things. And I think definitely over, especially this past season, I've really found like my passing and my ability to make plays and kind of help other players be better. I found that a lot within myself this year, and I think it definitely showed.
It sounded like there was a leadership aspect to it because you were wearing a C.
Yeah. My second year of college, I was named an assistant captain, so I kind of thrown into that leadership role at a young age. But I definitely think that really like helped me throughout the past 2 seasons. And then obviously this past season, I did get the captain, which was super cool.
As I was talking about, there were some game-winning goals. Can you explain to all of us? Maybe there's a lot of people that are watching this podcast. They've never played pro sports at this level. Something as simple as scoring a goal or a game-winning goal or connecting on the power play. What's that feel like?
Yeah, it's especially an overtime goal. It's pretty cool. Like, all eyes are on you, right? And it's just something in the moment you kind of gotta focus on. You know what I mean? Like you can't be stressed out in those situations. You gotta be super relaxed when it comes to that stuff. And I think even like when I was younger too, I was always able to kind of put the puck in the net when the game was on the line. So it's something I've done my whole life. And yeah.
Where'd that confidence come from? Is that because of your youth?
I don't know. I think I just really understand the game, and I really like get it. Like again, I was watching the NHL at such a young age. Like I think I just kind of understood the players and like kind of just how the game works. And I think in general as a person, I'm a very calm person. I don't get too stressed out or too overwhelmed over things. So I think that definitely has translated into my game as well.
I keep hearing when everything I read about you, everything I hear about you, is that she has a high hockey IQ. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, to me it means like I'm a very smart player on the ice. I make really good plays, really good passes. I could direct traffic away from other people to have them open for open shots or whatever, or rush, or whatever it is. But I think just in general, just being a good passer and just having like high intelligence with the game. Yeah.
Obviously, you take coaching well as well too. A little bit about your coaches at Mercyhurst.
Yeah, for sure. I think, they helped me a lot. Again, when I was a freshman, I played a lot. They put me in big roles, power play, penalty kill, and all that stuff. So they really trust me with my game, and I really appreciate that.
At this level, right? And this is what I think is so fun about the PWHL right now, because it's still in its infancy. 2 years through, going into year 3, and here you are right now. At any time when you're playing university hockey, did you say, I think I can do this on a professional level? Or, I know there was a sports business course that you were taking. Where was the split in your brain right now about what your next steps are going to be in your life?
Yeah, so the PWHL didn't come out till my third year of university. So my first 2 years, I think I was just kind of living in the moment. I don't think I really knew exactly, what was going to happen or what I wanted to do. But as soon as they did announce like the PWHL, that league, I definitely was like, oh yeah, like this is what I want to do. Like I want to play there with all the best players and be like the best player I can be as well.
And I'm sure someone of your seniors, now when you weren't a senior, maybe when you're in your sophomore or rookie years, and you're starting to see the ability of some of these players to go pro. Was that something you could model yourself after? Yeah,
for sure. Again, like I think just knowing that the PWHL was a league now, it definitely was like motivation to really be like, okay, like I've done well my whole life, but now it kind of, this really matters. Like you really got to do well and perform well if you do want to play that next level. So it was definitely just more motivation for me.
Again, because if it's in its infancy, and we all have hopes and dreams. That wasn't a dream, I'm sure, to play professional hockey. It just wasn't possible, really. You could play at some league and maybe get $50 a game, but you got to have a real life, right?
Yeah.
But now it's here. What does this league mean to you right now, the PWHL?
Yeah, it means a lot. Again, I think just in general too for women's sports, this is really big. I think as a whole, women's sports is growing. So I think finally having this professional league for hockey is really cool. Like I did see actually a post on Instagram that there was like an increase in younger women playing hockey, and I think that could definitely be from this league. And I think for the future too, this league could just help with that as well.
I see young girls, watching someone like yourself at this point. You're going to be playing in Minnesota, and there could be some young girl with a sign that says "Go Vanessa." How does that hit you? Yeah,
it's like pretty surreal. Like, I look up to people now that are in the league, so it's like it's kind of cool that younger girls could be looking up to me someday, and like I could be their idol, like because I know the feeling when I look up to someone that I'm like, oh wow, like you're really cool, like, you're really good at hockey, and it's pretty cool that I can kind of be the inspiration for someone else.
Sorry, I know I asked you about heroes that you might have looked at, and I kind of meant that more on the NHL guy side, but was there any, at least coming up, maybe even at the university level, a woman that you looked at that you're like, hey, she's kind of a model for me?
Yeah, so actually my last year playing for the Stoney Creek Sabres, Sarah Nurse, she was actually my assistant coach.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, yeah, so it was pretty cool. And then she was like even just like a friend. She was someone I always like got along with, and like, around the rink, like we would just chat, and she believed in me. Like I can tell, like she believed I was a really good hockey player. And like from that moment, like it was pretty cool. I was like, oh, like I tell by kind of how she's talking to me, like she believes I can do it, like I can do it, so she's definitely been like an idol for me, like just these past couple years. So yeah, it's been super cool, like having her around. Like even after that goal I got in overtime in my rookie season, she texted me after that. Like it's just like pretty cool that like she's kind of always been there and like supporting me throughout this journey.
The best part is that when Minnesota plays Vancouver, you may have to take a run at her in the boards.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, it is pretty cool, like to be playing against her. Yeah.
You're playing in a place, Minnesota, where hockey matters. I was just doing a kind of a rough look at the attendance. League attendance from year 1 to year 2 went up 52%. Wow. And you're playing in a place where hockey matters. I believe they put in almost 12,000 in one of your playoff games. Performing now in front of crowds. I know it's one thing at the university level, but now playing at the XL Energy Center as your home rink. How does that sound?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, again, at my school, we didn't get too many fans. We got really just the parents around. So, you know, going to that next level, like they're playing at the NHL arena there, I think it's going to be super cool to, you know, see everyone in purple and just all the fans and all the support. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Do you think you can fit in right away, or will it take, like, what's your sort of timeline in your mind now? I know there hasn't been training camp yet, but that is soon approaching.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be an adjusting period. I think that's kind of how it always is when you jump to the next, you know, level of hockey. But again, that's just kind of, you know, looking up to the older girls and kind of learning from them. And, you know, like they have the best coaching too. So just taking that all in, and, you know, hopefully it doesn't take me too long. But, I know that there'll be a little bit of an adjusting period, but I think I'll catch on pretty fast.
And that's the crazy part, because in some ways you're almost starting all over again. And I think that's kind of neat, because you kind of got to the top of the mountain there at Mercyhurst, and you're the captain, and everyone's looking up to you, and now you're like almost right back in a sense. Now, obviously, you know, you're going to be taken care of, and you have teammates taking care of you. Where do you see yourself? I mean, you see the game, you see the speed of the game. You talked about there's a body checking now in the PWHL now. Where do you see yourself fitting in?
Yeah, again, like, you know, I think that especially as a rookie, you kind of have to know that, you know, you might start in the bottom, you might be, you know, a lower player, but again, I think a lot of it is just about hard work. I think hard work that can take you really far. So that's kind of my plan, and just to keep working on my game and my craft, and you know, kind of take in what the coaches tell me and learn, and I hope to, you know, get up there and kind of start playing like the top lines eventually.
You know, a moment like this must be so special for you, a moment of achievement, but there are people that help you along the way. I think of someone maybe like your mom, Kathy. What was that like? I know it's a dream fulfilled for you, but knowing that there's other people in your life that care about you, that are so happy to see you succeed.
Yeah, obviously, my parents, like my mom, like, you know, from a young age, they spend time, they spend money on you, you know, to go to practices and games and this and that. So, you know, definitely without them, this obviously wouldn't have been possible, because they're also there to drive me around places, which I couldn't do at a young age. So, yeah, I'm definitely super thankful, you know, to have her in my life, and just to have this moment with her.
Can I bring her in?
Yeah.
Mom! Mom!
Thanks for having us.
Let's bring it, Kathy. Yeah. Kathy Upson. Let's bring you in right here. And I thanks for coming and joining us here. I know sometimes parents just don't want to be involved a little bit here, but I do have to. I'm sure there is some emotion here. Like this is like seeing your daughter achieve.
Yeah.
What does this feel for you?
Surreal. That draft, I still have moments of thinking this is not really happening. It is a dream, because it's her whole life she's worked so hard. And yes, we, you know, as parents, we gave her the opportunity to do it, but then she did the hard work. She's the one that worked hard and put all the extra time in. So, you know, really, it's her that did it. But I do. You know, it's just crazy. And then, like, I worried before the draft. I worried that, oh, she's going to be 21, living in another place if she gets drafted. Worrying about that, worrying about a car, you know, those kinds of things. And then it turns out that her good friend Kendall Cooper got drafted first to Minnesota, and then Brooke Becker, she just after Vanessa, who played. The three of them played together on a team in Stoney Creek, and they didn't even have an idea, Minnesota. So that was like, oh, thank you, you know, like that, you know.
Familiar surroundings.
Yeah, and they already been talking about having an apartment together, and, you know, so that is nice for me.
I'm sure the practices and the early mornings, you know, sometimes they're really early in the morning.
Yeah.
But the validation must be there for you right now.
Yeah. It's I think for both Vanessa's parent, you know, us, is, you know, it's it is surreal. That's all you can say. Is like it just. But she's worked so hard, and she's made us so proud for so many years. And I have to tell you, like, her brother is one of her, huge, like, biggest supporters. Like, he never was jealous. He was always just wanting her to go places. He saw that she had a gift, and he always supports her. Even now, he always supports her.
Now she's playing in the pros. Paycheck.
Yeah.
This is her living for the time being right now. As a mom, what can you want in terms of experience for her at this point?
I think at this point, I want her to be able to play, because that is her goal, her dream. I want her to be able to play as long as she can until she's ready to say, I'm going to hang up my skates. And I hope, and I know that she will work very hard to get to that next level, because that's how she's always been. She allows herself an adjustment period, but she always learns quickly, and she trains so hard so she can put herself in that position to get to that next level.
Do you have a frequent flyer pass to Minneapolis?
No.
Have you figured that out?
No, that I still have to figure out. But I may have to go to some of the closer places like Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, to go see games. So we'll see how that happens.
Well, and I don't know what it was like with Mercyhurst. I guess we've got online stuff right now, but
Yeah.
now every game can be televised, and the fact that you're going to be able to see your daughter playing professional hockey amongst the big trees on a team, as I said, we're in a place where hockey matters.
I know.
And is playing for a 2-time Walter Cup winning team. Like, look at this moment.
Yeah.
Look at this moment right here. Like, winning in a championship in overtime. Now, I will say this: with it comes a little bit of pressure, because I'm sure they want to be 3-time champs, Vanessa, and you're ready for that challenge, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely super exciting. Again, they're not 2-time champions for no reason. They obviously have great players and great coaches on their team. So I'm definitely super excited to get started with them.
Mom, again, fun for you.
So, like, we watch these games, and it's like, we never thought that she would be playing for this team. Like, to be honest with you, I thought, no, they're 2-time winners, there's no way, she's just coming out of university, they're not gonna, they're gonna pick probably top, I didn't think that they would choose her. Like, I was like screaming because I couldn't believe it.
So good. It's such a great story, I think. And so many of these local stories of many athletes like yourself and the parents' connection. We just, in the NHL, we have Matthew Schaefer.
I know.
Going first overall in the National Hockey League.
It was just nice.
A little tiny community of Stoney Creek. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, what are the chances of that? Yeah. And he's such a sweet kid.
He really is.
Yeah, actually, Vanessa met him at Mercy.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happened at their rink, but his team was actually practicing at Mercyhurst. And I just ended up catching him in the parking lot or whatever, and we were talking, and then we found out that we were both from Stoney Creek, and that we actually both went to, I'm a little older than him, but that we both did go to the same high school, and then, so it's pretty cool, like, we, obviously are from Stoney Creek. Him and I both ended up in Erie. I played college, he played in the OHL, and then we ended up going pro the same year, like draft the same year. So yeah, it was pretty cool that somehow I ended up meeting him, a couple months before my draft and his draft.
Well, I can wish both of you amazing successes as professional hockey players, and mom and dad and the parents and the cousins and the uncles and aunts. Like, this has got to be a wonderful moment. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy being a professional. This mountain that you've climbed is so difficult. It really is for a lot of people, and I'm sure there's the sacrifices that we talked about earlier in the podcast, that it all came true. So we look forward here at CHCH to looking forward to that first goal. I don't know if it has to be as fancy as the first one you pulled off at Mercyhurst, but we look forward to following your career, and we wish you luck. And Mom, enjoy the ride.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's going to be fun watching you play in the pros.
Thank you.
All right. Folks, that's your Sportsline podcast for the day. And if you've just seen and heard, we love talking to locals who are getting it done in the sports world. If you do know of an individual, team, or event to promote, we do want to hear from you. Hit that 5-star and subscribe button. And if you have something to say, we always appreciate your comments. For the talented and extraordinary people that make the Sportsline podcast possible, I say thank you. And we'll see you real soon.